everyone, welcome to Hedgehog Hollow. So today I wanted to cover a viewer requested topic, and someone was asking me about stamp conditioning. Now this is something I covered a long time ago, and so I wanted to come back to it because I've definitely learned things about stamping and inks and stamps and cells and all sorts of things, and I wanted to revisit it, cover a few new things, and kind of just do a refresh on it. So a viewer asked me, what do I do when a stamp doesn't take the ink well, or I don't get a nicely stamped image? So I have a couple of different things to share with you. So first of all, we're going to talk about the stamps themselves. Now there are different quality of stamps out there. There's lots of different things. The first thing I'm going to talk about are silicone stamps. Now this took me a long time to find a silicone stamp in my stash. I do not have many silicone stamps. Silicone stamps are not very common here in the US. You're going to tend to find them on the unbranded sites like Ali and Wish and things like that. And I really don't advocate buying off of those sites. They tend to steal designs off of the wonderful stamp companies we have here in the US. They're not very good quality. They're going to yellow. You'll find that they're particularly kind of jelly-like, so you can screw them up in your hand like this. They're going to break over time too. They're going to crack. They're not going to last you as well. The dyes will not work so well. And I do not like silicone stamps. If I see that a brand makes their stamps out of silicone, I'm not going to buy them. And you're going to find that with silicone stamps, they don't take the ink as well either. They're more likely to kind of have that bubbly effect on top, and you're not going to get such a nice crisp image. So tip number one is don't buy silicone stamps. Buy real photopolymer or red rubber. And that's what I've got here for you. So things like the Hedgehog Hollow subscription box, Altenew stamps, Gina K stamps, or Stampers Anonymous, who do most of their things in red rubber. All, Heffy Doodle, Ellen Hudson. I mean, tons of amazing companies out there. There are so many different options with your stamps. Stick to the great companies. Ink Road, the lists are endless. My favorite things, how all the different companies we use here. Anyway, when you get a stamp, you may still find that you have some issues with stamping. Probably not so much with red rubber, because red rubber is vulcanized. It doesn't really have any release chemicals on it. You're going to probably find you get a good impression. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is use a stamp platform. Whatever your preference is, I know there's a mix of opinions. I'm not going to get into the politics of stamp platforms. I go with the MISTI. That's my choice, whatever you like. If you want to check out my review, the comparison between the MISTI and the Tim Holtz and the Stamper Artist and all that, you can check it out in the top right-hand corner. But whatever you want to go with, I'll pop a link to the MISTI below. It comes in 3 sizes. That's the one I would recommend based on all the options we have here in the US. But red rubber I'm not going to cover because in general, you're not going to have any issues. And the tips I'm going to give you, you can absolutely use with red rubber too. And a stamp platform is definitely something to go with as well. But photopolymer, you may still get a few little tricky issues with, particularly larger stamps. Something like this stripy one did give me a little bit of trouble in the beginning. And I'll show you some reasons why and how, of course, you can fix them. So when you open up a photopolymer, they do usually have a release sheet on the back. So this is a brand new stamp set. It's going to have this release sheet on the back, so you always want to peel that off. I tend to keep these, pop them back on afterwards. It always keeps your nice backer sheet clean as well. But this is what you then end up with. Now, when you peel a large photopolymer off, do it slowly and peel the backing away from the stamp. It will avoid tears in your stamp, particularly in a large one like this. So you'd want to peel it away like this. You can see, just do it slowly. It will come away nice and easily. Oops, I've peeled off one of the little ones too. And you're going to want to keep this backer sheet because you'll want to put them on here to make sure you have all of your stamps afterwards. And then pop it down on your surface. Okay, so imagine I was stamping this and I was having a few issues first of all. And I do this with all my photopolymers. So the first thing I would do is take my tidy towel, I like the Gina K one, and I would just give it a little bit of a wipe down. Because when photopolymers are manufactured, there are chemicals as part of that process, and those release chemicals can stay on your stamp. So you want to give it a clean. Now, my go-to cleaner would be my Nouveau stamp cleaner. So I just put a little pump of it. It does come in a spray bottle, but I like putting it in the Brutus Monroe squeaky clean bottles. I just put a pump of it on my Gina K towel. I give it a wipe over. This tends to remove pretty much all of the chemicals that I need to. So I just give it a nice scrub over, and then I just find kind of a cleaner bit of the towel, go over like this. Now, in general, and I am generalizing, this removes pretty much all of those release chemicals. Then I'm good to go. The other thing is the quality of your ink matters. Again, don't cheap out on your ink. Buy one good set of quality ink as opposed to buying tons of sets of inks. Now, I review tons of inks here on the channel. You can check out all of those reviews. We have all sorts of different ones. Scrapbook.com inks I love. This Simon Hurley inks are good quality. They're made by Ranger. Any Ranger ink is great quality, and a lot of it really is down to the colors you love. If I was going to buy just one set of inks, I would buy a hybrid set because it means that I can Copic color, watercolor, all of those things. If I wanted just one set to blend with, I'd buy Distress Oxides because in all honesty, they're my absolute favorite. And if I wanted just one outlining out of everything, Gina K Amalgam would be my go-to. That would just be mine. And again, I will drop links to everything in the description below. And if you are a Hedgehog Hollow Perks member, you can get 15% off at Ranger. I mean, you can save a ton of money getting 15% off. I mean, that's really cool, right? Okay, so imagine I'm now stamping and I still just have, maybe there's a little bit of release chemical stuck on a piece of my stamp because it does sometimes happen. Or maybe sometimes there's just a little flaw in the manufacturing process. My next step is my mono sand eraser. So I might just have something here. I mean, obviously I'm making this up for the sake of the video, but all I do is I go to that stubborn area and I just take my sand eraser onto it and I give it a good scrub. That's all I do. So I go to whatever area is giving me a little bit of trouble and I give it a scrub with my sand eraser. This sand eraser will be one of your most used tools in the craft room. Grab one, they're not very expensive. You can get it on Amazon Prime. I'll drop the link below for the Amazon Prime link. You will love this. It removes, if you get a little ink smudge on the edge of your card, you just go like this on the edge of your card and it takes it off. It's like magic. It's like a magic eraser for card making. Honestly, this thing is awesome. Okay, then I go back with my tidy towel, just wash it off like this and off I go. And pretty much that tends to deal with the most of the issues. Now, if I have something really, really stubborn, I grab my next squeaky clean dispenser, which has isopropyl alcohol in it. Now, I know there are mixed schools of thought that whether you put isopropyl alcohol on photopolymers. I'm going to say I've done this for the last 10 years on photopolymers and I've never had an issue. That's just my experience. So I'm going to tell you that. So again, a little pump. I do use disposable kitchen towel, paper towel, whatever you want to call it. And I just go over, again, the offending area. Just give it a little bit of a scrub. Because if it's a chemical, the alcohol is going to evaporate off. You can see there's black ink on my thing. This pretty much takes off any issues. And again, I just go back with my tidy towel, give it a little bit of a scrub, because if there was an issue, again, this is going to take it off. You know, if I've left any residue or whatnot behind, this is going to take it off. Scrubs it off. Now I'm ready to stamp. Now, if I have been through all of those processes and there is still an issue with my stamp, I would go back to my stamp manufacturer. Because I should not have been through stamp cleaner, sand eraser, tidy towel, and isopropyl alcohol and not have been able to remove whatever was left on that stamp or whatever manufacturing process was left on that stamp. Because they are things that would remove anything. So if I still had a problem with this stamp now, I would pop an email to customer service at Altenew, be like, hey, I've done all these steps, I can't get my stamp to stamp properly, could you help? Oh, and by the way, I'm using a MISTI, I've stamped it loads of times, I've tried it with your ink and it's still not working. And normally you will find that every stamp company will be more than willing to help you. But they are my top tips. Good quality ink, don't buy silicone stamps, stick to real photopolymers and red rubbers. Make sure you have a sand eraser, grab yourself a tidy towel, Nouveau stamp cleaner, isopropyl alcohol, grab these amazing squeaky clean dispensers. As always, you know I'm going to link everything up for you. Tidy towel is awesome too. Good quality stamps. Don't buy from Ali and Wish. They are my top tips. I hope they're going to help you in your craft room too. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, click that join button, save yourself a ton of money. and grab yourself some of those essential supplies. Do give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video. As always, I will see you again tomorrow with another tip, trick, tutorial, maybe something else. Who knows? I can't wait for then too. Happy crafting, everyone, and I'll see you then. Bye.